Hey Steve, it's Thursday, and I can't believe that we're halfway to Pentecost. We've had a beautiful few days here in Phoenix, which is why I'm actually going to be working outside of my house today, but it is Phoenix, so it won't last long. Now, the questions. Let's make like Aaron Burr and give it a shot. Too soon? Question 1, do I take Jesus seriously when he promises to satisfy my thirst? Bro, if I did, don't you think that I would have figured this all out by now? In my head, I absolutely believe that he can satisfy my thirst, but when push comes to shove, not really. I'm realizing about myself that I have bought into a deep lie, that I am what I do. Lately, I've been wondering what it would be like to simply sit still in the Lord's presence, rather than getting bogged down by all the things that I feel like I'm not doing right. When I pray, I frequently feel frustrated, like I'm doing it wrong or I'm not doing enough. Or I try to simply get through the prayer as if just saying the words would be enough to get me God's love. But that's not it. I need to be present. I need to show up, to trust that I don't even need to do anything in particular. I simply need to be with him. But I do need to be present in order to be with him, and all of my distractions and stresses and doubts certainly don't help. So yeah, I guess I know that Christ can fill my thirst, but I'm still really trying to let that sink in. Question 2, what kind of ideas do I have about how God is supposed to behave? I think my idea of God is less based on what I think God should do and more based on what I think he does do. Often I feel like God is so removed from my life, that he's up there and I'm down here, and that at the end of the day, he just doesn't really care all that much about me. It's not that I think that God is a jerk or anything like that. It's more that I just think he has better things to do than to care about me. I mean, I believe that God has acted to save the world and that Christ loves humankind in general, but when it comes to my life and me specifically, well, I kind of believe he's not really all that interested. Actually, maybe it's less that he isn't interested and more just that I'm really not that interesting. It's like, of course he doesn't care. Why would he? What's there to care about? But this Sunday's gospel reading stands in stark contrast to my deep fear. Jesus stops what he's doing and spends time with this one Samaritan woman in particular. He's incredibly interested in who she is and what she's struggling with. He knows this woman. He knows her. She doesn't have to have the right answers or sing in the choir. She just meets him and he knows her, and he wants her to know him. When I let that sit for a second, it really hits me hard at the level of my deepest desire to know that God knows me and wants me to know him. It terrifies me and energizes me all at once, and it really challenges some deeply held beliefs that I have about God's behavior in my life. Question 3, do I have the patience to sit with Christ? I sort of feel like I touched on this, but I think it's worth digging into a little bit more. I sort of feel like the answer is no. I'm super impatient in my spiritual life, although I do get more frustrated with myself than anything else. Like if I ever do try to sit in silence or sit still with the Lord, I fall asleep or get distracted or start thinking about other things. There are many things that pull me away from Christ, and they pull me away easily because I don't actually feel like I'm doing it right. But I also think that these aren't simply distractions based on my impatience or short attention span. I think they're also escapes, because I'm also terrified. If I really just sat there, if I really showed up and waited and hoped that God would come be with me, and then he didn't show up, I'd be devastated. If at my core, I believe that I'm really not that interesting or worth caring about, and I really let myself show up and God didn't, I'm afraid that that would confirm that I'm really not worth showing up for. Like, how long am I going to sit here, Lord? How long are you going to keep me waiting? Oh, maybe you aren't coming. Well, that sucks. And you see, it's easier to deal with the fear that nobody wants to be around you if you beat them to the punch and don't want to be around them in the first place. If I'm hiding and you can't find me, it's because I'm hiding, not because you're not looking for me. Does that make sense? So I think that brings me back to the question you asked at the beginning. Do I really trust that Christ is enough to satisfy my thirst? Man, I really want to, but I'm terrified that I'll put all of my hope on him and that he won't show up, that I won't be worth his time. But he showed up for the Samaritan woman, and she was worth his time. So maybe my fears are just that. Fears. All right, Steve, that's all I got. I'll see you on Monday.